Let's take a look at today's top talkers, folks. The cause of the Russian Metrojet crash last month has been determined. The head of Russia's FSB security service told Russian President Vladimir Putin that it was a homemade bomb. The device is estimated to have a yield of 1 kilogram of TNT. The explosion caused the plane to break up midair, which explains why the fuselage was scattered over such a large territory. ISIS claimed responsibility for the act soon after the disaster. And while tests show the explosives had been produced outside of Russia, no further details were released to confirm that the attack was at the hands of the Islamic State. Now, Putin has vowed to hunt down those responsible for the terror attacks, which killed 224 people on October 31st, as the Airbus A321-200 exploded approximately 20 minutes after takeoff. The discovery, of course, comes on the heels of French airstrikes on ISIS strongholds in Syria in the wake of terror attacks last Friday that left 129 people in Paris dead. Now, there was some breaking news this morning. Obviously, this breaking news in and of itself. Russia now offering $50 million, leading to the arrest of whoever was responsible for the bombing of the plane. So this is, obviously, in the wake of the attacks that happened in Paris, ISIS taking claim for that. This is a huge thing because, as we have talked about, there's been a little bit of tension between the United States and Russia over airstrikes in Syria, right, that it seemed that the Russians were more in defense of the Assad regime. Well, now, if they follow through with what they're saying, they will be turning their attentions also on airstrikes in Syria that are toward ISIS. So Syria now has France. They have Russia. There is a lot going on there, and as every single day is what the threat expands, it's getting pretty much to be a global front against
right,
ISIS, which is what it needs to be.
Now, the airstrikes have been going against Russia or Syria from Russia since September.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, they have been trying to fight off rebels against the Assad regime. Which is why the United States, they were saying, what Russia was saying is that they were attacking strongholds of ISIS, but some of the bombing was taking place where there was really no stronghold, right, but where the rebels against the Assad regime were based. So yes, this has been going on, but now the fact that ISIS rather, is taking, and has claimed responsibility, and it has been determined by Russian officials that it was a bomb, this changes the game on the Russian front in Syria.
I had read that the French president is now meeting with Putin and Obama in the coming days to discuss joining his coalition
Which is what they need
ISIS.
to do. Which is what they need to do.
Yeah.
This needs to be a global front against this organization. And speaking of waging war against ISIS, just completely different outside of global politics, Anonymous, the hacker, the hacktivists as they have been called, they have declared war on ISIS as well in the wake of the Paris attacks. And as I was talking about yesterday with Kristen, it seems to me that has got to be where it comes from, because they are exploiting social media. They are exploiting the internet by recruiting people, and they are reaching these people with those tools. So if you want to hit them, I think that's where you hit them, is in the cyber technology. Cyber terrorism, getting back at them and using, the technology, the cyber terrorism that they're using, use it against them and shut their communications down. So
this is a scary time to be alive.
It's very scary stuff going on. So we'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
We're gonna take things a little lighter now.
Yes.
For the moment, shall we, Rachel?
Switching gears. That's right. McDonald's is 86ing its dollar menu. Starting in January, the fast food chain will launch the McPick 2 menu. How exciting!
Let's hear about it. Let's hear it. All right, I'm skeptical.
McDonald's is shaking up its value play with McPick, which will allow diners to pick 2 items for $2 and will eliminate the dollar menu and more. It will let customers pick 2 of the following items for $2: a McDouble, a McChicken, small fries, and mozzarella sticks. Yum. The move is the latest effort by McDonald's to revive slumping sales. A spokeswoman confirmed that the McPick menu platform will replace the chain's dollar menu and more. She also said it is possible that the items on the McPick menu will change over time. She said it's meant to be a flexible platform that sets the stage for value customization. I can appreciate this.
I do too, actually. Now hearing a little bit more about it, I think that it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I never spend that little amount of money at
I never
McDonald's.
eat at McDonald's, but mozzarella
Every now and
sticks,
again.
yes, thank you.
I've never ordered mozzarella sticks from McDonald's. Now I got to try it out.
You can't mess up mozzarella sticks.
Well, you can if you're Chad Brummett, I'll tell you that much. But I got to try this, and I think that it is smart, because they're still going to get people doing it, diversifying it. Of course, was it a month or so ago, they started selling breakfast all day long.
Yeah.
So they're trying everything.
But my question is, why couldn't you diversify on the dollar menu? It's essentially the same concept.
Because I don't know, it's a catchy slogan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a catchy slogan.
Exactly.
That has a
Touche,
lot to do
McDonald's.
with it. Touche. Checkmate. All right. Well, a Denver man says that his Star Wars figurine collection started a long time ago, but not in a galaxy far, far away. 46-year-old Carlos Lopez is showing off his decades-old collection, starting in his own home. Lopez has done what many Star Wars fans wish they could do, turn that impressive pastime into a profitable business. He is the owner of Big Top Collectibles, a Star Wars superstore in Colorado, which features more than 20,000 Star Wars collectible pieces. Take a listen.
I wanted to read about it, I wanted to write about it, I wanted to reenact the scenes with the toys. These are the first 4 Star Wars action figures ever. R2-D2, then you got Chewbacca, you got Luke Skywalker, and you got Princess Leia.
Man, this takes me back. That takes me so back. I had those toys, guys. You can now see some of those collectibles at the Denver Museum of Miniatures, Dolls, and Toys. Just looking at those, I remember the R2-D2 with the not the best decal in the world, and the Luke Skywalker that, before, because now, it seemed that action figures went through this phase where they were really built.
Yeah.
But back in the 70s, they were skinny. They were skinny little folks.
They were realistic.
They were realistic, yeah. No offense to Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. They weren't ripped. Mark Hamill wasn't ripped. He was a skinny little guy.
You have a ton of Star Wars collectibles, or you didn't?
No, I did.
Right.
This is the thing. Looking at this, it's bittersweet because I go through and I remember all of those toys. I had the Chewbacca. I think I went through a couple of Darth Vaders because his head broke off on one of them. That was the downside to those figurines, is because they were so thin, they broke very easily, which means you had to buy more.
That's right.
Yeah. Speaking of toys, guys, let's move on to our viewer top talker. This is your chance to chime in on the morning discussion. Good news for the U.S. toy industry. It is expected to have its strongest year in at least a decade after several years of kids choosing video games and mobile apps over Barbie and stuffed bears or Luke Skywalker. Annual toy sales are projected to rise 6.2% to $19.9 billion in 2015. That is up from a 4% increase last year, the biggest increase in at least 10 years. The growth is being fueled by increasing popularity of collectibles, toys based on Hollywood blockbuster films, and better technology that allows the toys to do things like talk back to the children. Not in a bad way, though. It comes after sales slowed and sometimes even declined in the last 10 years as children, much like their parents, became more enthralled with technology. Now, toy makers are using chip technology, which is getting cheaper and more powerful in its toys. They are also focusing on grabbing the attention of the long-ignored but increasingly influential preteen crowd.
So what we want to know from you guys at home is, what was your favorite childhood toy?
Let's start with you. This one's easy for me. Let's start with you.
We've
Rachel.
talked about this before, and I love stuffed animals. Even
Stuffed animals.
Still, if I
Was
go
there
somewhere,
one
that's
favorite
what my
stuffed
eyes-
animal, though?
No, I had a ton of them. I literally still have boxes and boxes. I can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because I still have this emotional attachment.
You may not want to. I mean, if I've learned anything from these collectibles, they might somewhere down the road be worth some money.
Right.
You know?
Well, these were like the toy crane machine stuffed animals that my dad would win me.
Oh.
Nothing special.
Before they
just-
were rigged.
Yeah. Well.
I
a
spent
whole other
$5 about a month ago trying to get Annalise a minion.
Yep.
At Albertsons. I was so angry.
It's always the dads trying to be a good daddy,
No.
throwing that money
Because you do
away.
whatever you want, or
That's
whatever you
right.
can for your little girl.
That's right, guys. All right, join in on the conversation. You can like us on Facebook, 2 Casa Fox, leave a comment there, or follow us on Twitter and tweet us your opinion at 2 Casa Fox. And as always, you can go to casa.com and click on this dialogue. But before that, what about you?
Oh, Star Wars. Oh, I was just saying, Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker,
Yeah.
Chewbacca, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because I broke his head off once, and I had to get a second one. I think I broke arms. And the little lightsabers, it had like this little opening in the hand.
Yeah.
And it had the lightsaber that you had to slide in so that it would hold the lightsaber. It was very cool. Those were the days. And if I held them, I would be a
You'd
rich
be
man.
rich.
I'd be a rich
You'd
man
be
indeed.
rich.
Anyway, let us know, guys. We will share your responses in the second half hour, so get those opinions out there. All right, when we come back here on 2 Casa Style, guys,